Recording. Welcome everyone to class 90 of the Biblical Foundation, which is the book of beginnings, the incredible book of Genesis. So we're on class 90 as mentioned, and we're going to review first of all post Sodom and Gomorrah's destruction. So let's dive right into it. Uh, uh, Bernadette, can you kindly read Genesis 19 verses 27 to 28, please, in English?
And Abraham gets up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked over Sodom and Gomorrah and over all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace.
Very good. I heard a slight Portuguese pronunciation for Gamora. I think you said Gamorra.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's hard when they're almost identical. Just a little difference in pronunciation, it can be tough to remember.
Could you repeat, please, the
So it's
pronunciation?
Gomorrah, R, hard R,
Gomorrah,
not the carioca ha, Gomorrah.
Mora.
Okay, very good. So let me try that in Portuguese and let's see if I can get it. Okay, 27. Ok, Abraão levantou-se aquela mesma manhã de madrugada e foi para aquele lugar onde estivera diante da face do Senhor. E olhou para Sodoma e Gomorra, e para toda a terra da campina, e viu, e eis que a fumaça da terra subia, como a fumaça de uma fornalha. All right, Pedro, can you kindly read question one in English?
Why like smoke of a furnace?
Okay, thank you, Pedro. Anyone remember from last class what I'm looking for? Kind of smoke of a furnace. What is that?
I also missed the class.
Okay, so maybe Pedro remembers?
I remember it was because the destruction was total.
Exactly. And so where else is there a smoke of a furnace?
The hell.
Exactly. Okay, so it's just we have a little bit of hell fire on earth, hell on earth in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, thank you. And Raimunda, can you kindly read Genesis 19:29 in English?
And it came to pass when God destroyed the cities of the plain that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt.
Thank you. The last time you pronounced, I think you said overthrow when it's past tense, overthrew.
Overthrew. Oh,
Yeah, in
okay.
the last line, very good. And in Português, e aconteceu que, destruindo Deus as cidades da campina, lembrou-se Deus de Abraão e tirou a Ló do meio da destruição, derrubando aquelas cidades em que Ló habitara. Okay, so we're back to Bernadette. Bernadette, can you kindly read question two in English?
Did God save Lot because of his own merits?
Okay, what do you think?
Oh, I think no.
Correct. So in the verse that Raimunda just read, so does it say why God saved Lot?
Yes.
Okay, and what is that, Raimunda?
God remembered Abraham.
Exactly right. So essentially, he's not only remembering Abraham, like, oh, Lot reminds me of Abraham. He was remembering Abraham's prayer, his
eh,
intercessory prayer.
And the promise that he will not destroy the
Exactly.
devil's tent. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, very good. All right, so that was Bernadette. So Pedro, can you kindly read question 3 in English?
Abraham is a type for whom?
Okay. So what do you think? I think Pedro will remember from last class, but what do our Christian ladies think? Abraham is a type for whom? And you remember what type means in biblical terms?
So you ask me and Berenice?
Yes.
Bernadette, sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Because Pedro will remember from last class.
Yeah. So is our time. Do you want to say Bernadette? Bernadette?
Don't know, maybe Jesus, the Holy
Yes.
Spirit.
Okay. The first one I think is the correct one. Okay.
Ah,
So Jesus Christ. All right. And it's not a very clear being a type for, but remember what uh, Abraham prayed an intercessory prayer for Lot, and the Father respected that. In a similar way, Jesus Christ takes all of us, and the Father delivers us in the end. Okay, so we cannot be taken from Jesus's hand, and the Father also respects the intercession of Jesus Christ on our part. But let's continue because there might be other. Raimunda, can you kindly read question 4 in English?
Question 4. Ai, sumiu. Did God, no, so
At the
in
bottom,
what ways?
perfect.
In what ways? Well, I see that Abraham is also a type like of God the Father. I see. Because when he in the Isaac scene, when he gave Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
he gave, God intervened,
Mm-hmm.
and but he was willing to give his son, is
Mm-hmm.
the same as God gave Jesus to us.
Absolute. That's absolutely correct. I agree
And also,
entirely.
and he is the father of the faith, né? Abraham is the father of the faith, so we have him as a father,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So
I think that's excellent. So Abraham is actually a type for more than just the son, but also the father. But let's think further. Why is he a type for the son?
for the son, and he is blessed to be a blessing.
Yes, absolutely right. So blessed all nations.
Yes,
Remember that Abraham was told, "You through you all nations will be blessed."
exactly. So
Okay.
Jesus,
through him.
also blessed us, every, all nations.
Okay. How about in more ways? Pedro or Benedetti, can you think of more ways that Abraham and Jesus are similar, or Abraham is foreshadowing Jesus?
I think about the institution of the circumcision in the case of Abraham and the institution of the salvation with Jesus Christ.
Okay.
The the two started a new time in the the willing of God.
Yes. It's a sign. And in fact, I think in the New Testament, is it baptism, which is called like a circumcision? It's a public expression of part of the faith, so if I recall. So yes, thank you, Pedro. Any
And
others? Sorry?
I didn't understand well this. I think break and then I lost you.
Yeah. So Pedro was saying that circumcision uh, that started with Abraham, didn't it?
Mhm.
And saying that that is similar to Jesus Christ. And I'm pointing out that I think in the New Testament, circumcision is likened perhaps to baptism.
Mhm.
so that it's a public expression. It's a physical manifestation of one's faith. So that
Mm.
I'll take that. Any others? Well, we mentioned one. So Abraham was a mediator for Lot and family, and Jesus Christ is our mediator,
Oh, mediator.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, there's a covenant with Abraham, and that foreshadows Christ's covenant, right? So the Abrahamic covenant is major. And then the new covenant with Jesus Christ is in some ways a reflection of that. And faith was mentioned. So that and Haimunda said yes, because remember Abraham was saved. His great faith was then taken for his righteousness. So in other words, it was his faith, great faith, which caused him to be saved. And one can say, of course, that Jesus Christ was also a tower of faith. He did only what the Father wanted, and was completely faithful during his entire life. So, okay, so interesting. All right, so we just did some examples of faith, or rather of why Abraham is an incredible type. Uh, and so let's move on. So that was primal. So Bernadette, can you kindly read Genesis 19? Verse 30 in English.
And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, and he and his two daughters.
Very good, thank you. E subiu Ló de Zoar, e habitou no monte, e as suas duas filhas com ele, porque temia habitar em Zoar. E habitou numa caverna, ele e as suas duas filhas. Okay, so things are moving. Pedro, can you kindly read question 5 in English?
Why might God have wished Lot to live in a cave?
Very well pronounced. Thank you. So what do you think? I suspect again Pedro will remember from last time. So ladies, any thoughts, ideas? What's this? Why did Lot have to and his daughters go live in a cave?
I didn't think
Maybe
about
to be
anything.
uh,
Bernadette?
um, it was a kind of protection.
Okay,
I don't
well,
know.
of what sort? Uh, well, and Pedro, do you remember?
I I remember that it happened because God was testing the faith of Lot, testing how he would react.
That's true. So it's not comfortable. He didn't bring him to a comfortable place. And where for Lot is a comfortable place?
Sodom.
Exactly, in the city. And not just in Sodom and in Zoar as well. And
Yeah.
so
He chose
so
that. He
all right,
chose that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Lot is, and remember his wife died because of her love for cities and city life. Uh, and so Lot still, remember he was told to go to the hills and he said, "No, please don't. I'll die in the hills." He wanted to go to the small city of Zoar, and then the angels tolerated that, but then had to save him again. So one way to think of it, and it's not strictly a very I think proper English word, but uncitify. Okay,
To
so
quantify. Okay.
okay, so I'll put that in the chat. Uncitify. So to citify would be to like, okay, I'm getting urbanized. All right, to
Uh,
be citified, your son becomes citified because he's living in a big city. So this one's kind of fun. So uncitify is we can make up English words sometimes together. So uncitify, you have to get the city out of Lot. Okay, Haimunda, can you kindly read Genesis 19, verses 31 to 32 in English?
Yeah. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
Very well pronounced. What are these women doing? Let's see. Então, a primogênita disse à menor: Nosso pai já é velho, e não há homem na terra que entre a nós, segundo o costume de toda a terra. Vem, demos de beber vinho a nosso pai e deitemo-nos com ele para que em vida conservemos a descendência de nosso pai. Wow. Okay, that sounds somewhat rationalization. All right, but let's go ahead. So, Bernadette, can you kindly read question 6 in English?
Was this selfish behavior of the part of Lot's daughters?
Okay, very, very well pronounced. What do you all think? Were they just being selfish?
I, I, I think they got citified in Sodom and all the scene there. So they are, uh, they are not being sanctified, but citified.
Uh-huh.
I think it's the opposite of sanctify, like citified.
Uh-huh. You're
I
right.
think the sequelas, like what the consequences of
Hmm.
being raised in Sodom.
Okay.
might- might-
But you're explaining their behavior, but I'm asking, is their behavior selfish?
I think so.
I agree. Uh, Bernadette, do you think it's selfish? All selfish?
Yes.
Okay. But so I think our women are being tough on the two daughters. It does say here, remember that the firstborn at the end of verse 32 says, that we may preserve seed of our father. And remember, what that means is they're concerned that if the two daughters, cannot marry again, and remember they had no children, then Lot's descendancy would die out. And in Israel, that is a horrible, horrible thing to happen when you have no heir, you have no grandchildren.
We have no what?
Heir, an
Herdeiro,
heir is
herdeiro,
like yeah, it's kind of like herencia. I don't tend to use the. Here we go. Let me see chat.
herdeiro. No.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So and so not necessarily 100% selfish. Okay, so they're
Uh,
like, hey,
But was so they are trying to do something that is not on their responsibility.
agreed
Why?
entirely. And they're rationalizing it.
Nothing.
Okay.
So
Yes, but it's conceivable. I'm just pointing out they're not 100% selfish
and
necessarily. All right, so they thought, well, our father, what a tragedy that our father will not have heirs after us. And
let
so
me give
anyway,
another one. Maybe they don't want to be without kids.
of course, and now let's get
Because a
to
woman without a
the
father, without kids, and anything are also nobody at that time, right?
uh-huh.
I think they think about themselves also.
Okay, and that's what the next question is about. So
Oh,
Pedro,
sorry.
can you read question 7 in English? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, question 7.
Did they really have the best interests of their father in mind?
Okay, I think you've just been answering that. They claim that it's in the best interest of their father, right? And maybe it partly is, but why might this be selfish? So just tell me why this might be selfish. I think you already said it, Raimunda.
Oh, I thought you were asking him.
Yeah, no, it's always open question.
Maybe they wanted to have babies.
They wanted to have children themselves, of course.
Children.
Right? All right. To be a full woman, it was like, wow, I have to have children. I have to do my duty. I have to
Uh-huh.
give an heir to my father Lot so that the blood and the name will continue on. So so yes, so they uh, may not just have had the best interests of their father in mind. So Raimunda, can you kindly read Genesis 19 verse 33 in English?
And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose.
Very well pronounced. Thank you. E deram de beber vinho a seu pai naquela noite, e veio a primogênita, e deitou-se com seu pai, e não sentiu ele quando ela se deitou, nem quando se levantou. Wow. Okay, so Bernadette, could you kindly read question 8 in English?
Does moderate drinking lead to this type of situation?
I see Raimunda is shaking her head. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would agree.
No.
Imagine that. He's so drunk that he can't tell that his daughter has laid down in the bed with him, nor when she got up.
Oh, he was doped. Doped? Can I say
Well,
doped?
well,
Dope?
yeah, well, doped is usually for drugs,
Yeah,
so there's another funny term in English.
for
He was blotto.
Brodo. Wow. I
Blotto
never
is
heard
like
that.
so drunk, like, not able to see or understand anything. You're somehow still walking and maybe even talking, but you're blotto. Okay, so Pedro, can you kindly read Genesis chapter 19, verses 34 to 36 in English?
And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thaw him, and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him. And he perceived it not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father.
Very well pronounced. So there's a lot of repetition here, but so let me because one daughter does the exact same as the other daughter. But e sucedeu no outro dia que a primogênita disse à menor: Vês aqui, eu já ontem à noite me deitei com meu pai. Demos-lhe de beber vinho também esta noite. Então entra tu, deita-te com ele, para que em vida conservemos a descendência de nosso pai. E deram de beber vinho a seu pai também naquela noite, e levantou-se a menor e deitou-se com ele, e não sentiu ele quando ela se deitou, nem quando se levantou. E conceberam as duas filhas de Ló do seu pai. All right, here's a good question now. So let's, Raimunda, can you kindly read question 9 in English?
Is incest forbidden in the Bible? And if so, was it forbidden at this time? Well,
Okay.
the law came a little further,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Yeah. But I think in that's, I don't know, the law came with Moses. So
Correct.
this is pretty before.
It
Uh,
came with Moses. Absolutely correct.
so formally, I believe was not
Hmm.
eh, formally, but
Correct.
they were influenced by the culture, right, around them.
Hmm. Well,
They,
I'm not asking if this was a good thing to do. They deceived
yeah,
their father.
yeah,
He would not have done it had he not been blotto drunk.
of
So
course.
that's a separate question. But I'm asking, hey, did they sin because it was incest?
According to the law, no. No,
Correct.
no,
That's the correct answer. It was not forbidden at this time.
yeah,
Only later, it's actually in Leviticus chapter 18, 6 to 18, the verses. So, and it does not say prior to then that incest is a bad idea.
yeah.
So, uh, and let's add to that a little bit. Pedro, can you kindly read question 10 in English?
Whom did Abraham marry, for instance?
Okay.
That's that's a tricky question. He married Sarah,
Okay. And was Sarah related to him?
half sister.
Absolutely right. There you are. Okay. So, uh, marrying a half sister was not a sin.
Yeah,
Okay. It was not forbidden. It was not looked down upon. And Pedro answered this question last time well and the reason is, well, we all know that Adam and Eve's children had to
to
perform
intermarry.
incest, exactly, because there were no other people.
Yeah,
And the reason why, and Pedro said correctly, why it was not a problem is because the genes were not mutating that much. Only after the original sin, the fall in the garden, then did death and uh, uh, what do you call it? Death and devolution start. Okay, so then mutations started being passed on to the next generation. And that's the reason why incest today is strictly forbidden ever since Moses. Okay, because it's bad. The mutations are very dangerous now,
you can have
and
children with problems, right?
all sorts of problems. Yes, you can have Down syndrome. So
Yeah.
it's when brother and sister marry and have children, there's not enough genetic pooling, right?
Mhm.
And then the grandchildren only have two grandparents. Healthy grandchildren have four grandparents, and the mix of blood is better and avoids passing on of mutations so easily. It still happens, but it's not as easily. Okay, so Raimunda, can you kindly read Genesis 19:37 to 38? And we're going to finish up with chapter 19.
And the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she also bare a son and called his name Benami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
Very well pronounced. Thank you. E a primogênita deu à luz um filho, e chamou o seu nome Moabe. Este é o pai dos Moabitas até ao dia de hoje. E a menor também deu à luz um filho, e chamou seu nome Ben-Ami. Este é o pai dos filhos de Amon até o dia de hoje. All right. Well, I'm glad my parents didn't call me Ben-Ami, right, instead of Benjamin. All right. So,
It
uh,
will be a first name.
yeah. Okay, so Pedro. So I don't want to give anyone thoughts. Like, don't call your children Ben Ami. Not a good idea. So, Pedro, can you read question 11, please?
Were Moabites or Ammonites eventually friends of Israel?
Okay. Just here to know, your microphone is a little bit weak, Pedro.
Yes.
Sometimes it's low and then it jumps. So, but we heard you. Okay, so what do you think? The Moabites and the Ammonites, were they eventually friends of Israel?
Eventually, the eventually is a little trick, but they were not friends.
Correct. In fact, it was worse than not. They were never friends.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're right, Haimunda. One could say that after the second coming, even the Moabites and the Ammonites will be friends of Israel, right? If they exist, but I don't think, so but really, no. So the peoples of the Moabites and the Ammonites were never friends of Israel. Uh-oh. So that's just to show. Look what God's mercy. He allowed this to happen. He allowed Abraham to do an intercessory prayer to save Lot and as much of his family as possible. That meant only his two daughters. And then the two daughters decided they took action in their own hands, right? They didn't pray to the Lord to resolve this problem for the family. And what are the consequences of God's mercy? Israel gained major enemies, the Moabites and the Ammonites. Wow, big consequences. Just
Big
because,
one.
all right, because Abraham was nice to his nephew.
Yeah, it's
All right.
very nice.
Agreed.
Very nice.
Okay, so now we're going to go to new material in Genesis chapter 20. All right, so now we're going to study the study of Abraham and Sarah testing Abimelech. So, Raimunda, can you kindly read Genesis chapter 20, verses 1 to 2 in English?
So she left, right? Yeah,
Yes,
Bernadette.
yes, us, absolutely.
And Abraham journeyed from I from thence toward the south country and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur and I don't know how to say this word. And I never heard Shur in Gera.
Think of
Gera. Gera.
think of journey. So sojourned.
Sojourn in Gera.
Yes.
Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gera, sent and took Sarah.
Wow. Ok, let me try that in Português. E partiu Abraão dali para a terra do sul, e habitou entre Cades e Sur, e peregrinou em Gerar. E havendo Abraão dito de Sara, sua mulher, é minha irmã, enviou Abimeleque, rei de Gerar, e tomou a serra. Wow. One thing after another in the Bible. Amazing. So, Pedro, can you kindly read question A in English?
Was Abraham,
Say it again, sorry.
was
Break.
Abraham
Lying.
Yeah, we can hear.
lying?
Yeah,
Okay, okay, very good. All right, what do you think? Was he lying?
Half line.
Okay. Half sister, half lie.
Ah,
Okay, yes, but technically no, because half sister is a type of sister,
but the
right?
last thing she is his wife. So he
Oh,
lied.
he deceived.
Yeah.
Okay, so but he didn't. No, he wasn't asked if Sarah is his wife. It doesn't
Yeah.
say he was asked. It
Yeah.
said that he volunteered, she's my sister. Okay,
Why?
well, we'll see why. But again, I don't think he's lying. I think he's deceiving.
The
But
difference, deceiving.
yes. Okay, so Pedro, can you read question B? I'm trying to be nice to no, I think it's true. Pedro, can you read question B, please?
Is this the first time Abraham and Sarah used this subterfuge?
Okay, that's a tough word. So it's subterfuge,
It's the same in Portuguese.
but the pronunciation is probably
Yeah,
different. So
yeah,
subterfuge.
it's hard. Yeah.
Sub,
Subterfuge.
Okay,
subterfuge.
thank you. So what do you think? Is this the first time they use this subterfuge?
Mm-mm.
Correct. Do you remember when? They used it before? Where did they use it before?
Egypt? I
Yes,
think.
absolutely right. Okay, that was back in Genesis chapter 12,
Mm.
starting in verse 10. So, yes, they already used this subterfuge, this deception. So, Raimunda, can you kindly read the last question of today, question C in English?
How could he make the same mistake?
Hey, I thought Abraham was like this tower of faith. He's a type for Jesus Christ. He's even a type for the Father when he sacrifices his only son. So how could he make the same mistake? Any ideas?
A human being,
That's true.
which I love it because God, He never cancel us when we make a mistake.
Mm. Hmm.
He never take what He gave us. No, you
Hmm.
don't
Hmm.
deserve that face I'll take from
Yeah.
you. No, He rescue us. And it's so good because I feel included.
Oh,
I can feel part of the family because He never cancel me with
that's
my.
lovely. That's lovely, Raimunda. I'm just gonna disagree smallly with one word. You said God never cancels us.
Yeah.
What are two instances in the Bible where I'm not saying this happens to a believer, but when you do something and there is no return, God cannot forgive you.
Well, I
Two
only
instances in the Bible.
two
Ped,
instances happen. Okay,
let's let Pedro, do you remember two instances, situations in the Bible? If you do that, no salvation is possible.
When someone sins, I don't know what the name of the sin specifically, but it's he sins with against the Holy Spirit.
yeah,
Absolutely right. And the word is blasphemies.
blasphemy. Yeah.
Blasphemies the Holy Spirit. Excellent. So that's the situation one. You do that and you are not able to be forgiven. That's the end for you. Okay, there's one other situation, Pedro. Do you remember?
When it says in Revelation,
Hmm.
the sign of the beast,
Excellent. In English, it's mark of the beast.
mark
Mark
of the
of the
beast.
beast. Absolutely right, Pedro. Excellent. All right, very
So
well
what's
done.
happened there?
The mark of the beast is
If you
this.
put it,
Yeah. Well, once you have the mark of the beast, there's
you are lost.
no return. Yes, there's no forgiveness after that. There's zero chance. You make that mistake. So we should be telling our unsaved friends and everyone, don't like become a cyborg. There's a cyborg society in Sweden where like 7,000 people who love putting chips in the body and saying, I'm no longer 100% human. I'm a cyborg. I'm part machine and part human.
Oh,
I wouldn't do that if I were them, right? Because that may be one reason why you put a chip in. And I'll say, if you have too many bad things put into your body, you may be less than 100% human, and and the Holy Spirit and Jesus Christ only save human beings. They don't save angels, they don't save animals, they don't save half humans and half animals. They don't save half angels and half humans. They only save 100% humans. Okay, and if you remember uh, the law in Leviticus 25:25 called the kinsman's redeemer, it's a close. You can only redeem someone who's a close family, and the way this is interpreted is that Jesus Christ can only redeem you if you have the same blood. That is the blood of 100% human being. All right, so no mixing. Anyway, so that's just a detour on saying there's just two instances. We can't say never, but for believers, yes, believers is there's absolutely no way you can. So thank God. Yes, Abraham and Sarah made the same mistake. They're human, but they're okay. But any other Pedro, can you imagine why did they make the same mistake? They already went through this situation in Egypt. Did they forget what happened in Egypt?
I think that when they feared the what could happen,
Mm,
they forgotten the
yes,
past
yes,
to trust in the Lord.
exactly right. I agree entirely. So they due to fear, right? Maybe they arrived in Gerar and then like we just heard. Well, wait a second, and Sarah, remember, is beautiful. And so it's like they panicked and they didn't remember the lessons from Egypt. They didn't pray to God. They didn't ask for guidance. They didn't say, "Hey, we made that mistake." So they didn't think. Actually, it was Abraham. I don't. It doesn't say that he spoke to Sarah. It's just like he said, he wanted to protect her too much. All right.
there's a
He didn't want to let God protect her. Abraham, wanted to protect her through deception.
the father of faith was afraid.
He was. And that
That's
and that's
it.
and that just goes to
He
show you.
laughed like her.
Let's say it again.
The father of faith was afraid. That makes me laugh, like
Yeah.
Sarah laughed.
Yes, that's true. That's true. If he's the father of faith, then imagine poor us. Uh, and there's actually a very some a worldly application. Um, if you think of it, governments use fear. So during the crisis in 2020, governments around the world used massive fear to do things we never thought they could do before, right? They shut down churches. Never in the history have governments shut down churches before. But in general, the population was so fearful that they didn't stand up for their rights or didn't stand up for God, right? They bowed to men. So remember,
And
yeah,
yeah,
fear does strange things to us. Fear does strange things. So,
crazy.
what were you going to say, Raimunda?
No, we was so crazy that
Mm-hmm.
even after when I don't remember before pandemic seeing people wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, I find people
Yeah,
and
I agree.
not, yeah, wearing masks. So it was kind of,
Yeah.
getting to the
Okay.
of
I agree entirely. And I have to say, we have to be a little careful because it still happens that you can be canceled. And so we have to be careful what we say for this channel because there's a recording. But it's no big deal. We'll talk after we finish the recording.
Okay.
But are there any questions or comments in English?
No, I think
All
Okay.
right.
All right. So thank you all for watching, and I'm going to end the recording now.